We are racing!
You're so focused on one thing. Win, 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 win. It's kind of all coming together.
There's been a lot of tough moments.
Newgarden upside down.
You okay?
Everyone thinks it's their year.
It just simply wears on you.
Wow!
It is the hardest thing to win in IndyCar.
Championship game is on.
Road to the IndyCar Championship. Streaming Sunday on Fox Nation. Sign up at foxnation.com.
Untouchable. Undeniable. One man going for history.
Welcome back to Nashville, folks, for the final race weekend of this 2025 NTT INDYCAR Series. It is qualifying for our final race here at Nashville Superspeedway. Weather is perfect. 83 degrees out, perfectly sunny, not a cloud in the sky. Well, our 27 drivers are about to head out and qualify for this weekend's final race on this majestic oval. And after last weekend's action in Milwaukee, we cannot wait to get back to racing ways on an oval. But as I welcome you up to the commentary booth with myself, Will Buxton, with Townsend Bell and James Hinchcliffe, guys, this is an oval, but it is so unlike any of the ovals that we've visited this year.
It is special. Listen, you come to Nashville, you think country music. You think country music, you got to think rodeo. And we've got bull riders, 27 of them, ripping around this 1.3-mile super speedway. And let me tell you, there is a huge bump that's only gotten bigger through the years in the middle of turn 3 and 4. And like a bull, when the drivers hit that bump, these cars have a mind of their own, and they try to get bucked off. So the guys have to hang on, especially in qualifying trim. It is full send, maximum attack. High sketch factor, though.
Look, maximum attack when the cars are in their most sketchy setup. You are taking as much downforce as you dare off of these cars to go for that ultimate speed. 2 consecutive laps, average speed over the 2. That's going to set the grid. So these drivers are going to have their hands full today over that 2-ish miles of that qualifying run.
The championship is resolved, but there is so much still to play for, not least pride in this very final race weekend of our 2025 season. Well, it really is a glorious day. One final chance for Go Fast Day. And as always, we will go out in reverse championship order, which means Jacob Abel in the number 51, back to, I should say, the number 51 this weekend, having run the Miller number 50 last time out in Milwaukee. Jacob will be the first driver out on track for Dale Coyne. And not a bad morning session, actually, in practice, up in 25th place. Not too far off the ultimate pace of those around him. One final weekend to impress in his rookie season, and it has been a tough rookie season for Jacob Abel. But we'll have the honor of setting the benchmark time here.
Never qualified better than 20th this season. That was at Detroit back in June. Might be one of his better chances to knock into the teens today with his Dale Coyne Racing Honda. He was 22nd in Milwaukee, 21st at Laguna Seca on the road course.
It was his third best qualifying last time out.
I wouldn't be surprised at all. I mean, DCR can always surprise at tracks like this. And where was his teammate in practice?
He was 26th, so...
Yeah, not a promising practice.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Well...
Pretty.
Jacob only having 2 finishes inside the top 20 so far this season. Would love to end this rookie campaign with a strong result here. Not really in the mix for the Rookie of the Year battle.
And James, we'll be watching this number on every run down the back straightaway. About 194 there for Jacob Abel.
Flag, white flag left.
So lap 1, a 195.8 average for Jacob Abel. Actually had his best result of the season on an oval at Iowa. Lucked in with the caution period, but had to make it work, had to pull it off, and an 11th place finish for him now.
And the other thing we're going to be looking at a lot, T-Bell, is that throttle trace right there, so close to flat out full throttle around 3 and 4 for Abel, a little bit of a lift.
Good consistency over the 2 laps, though, for Jacob Abel. Barely a change, and it's a 195.779 the average. Season high of 5th place on the Indy GP grid. His average on ovals has actually been pretty solidly midfield, around P15, P16, P17. We'll be hoping for something similar today, but your reaction already, James, I think quite telling.
With a little wiggle over that bump, that same one that caught him out in practice. And, you know, we were talking about it in that practice show, T-Bell. The last time he was in this race car, it was a quali sim and it went sideways. You've got to just now get in this car, throw on those softs, which he didn't get a chance to run. You see that hybrid system draining 198 miles an hour, turning into 3. Hits that bump and again a wiggle.
Wow. Almost flat on the throttle, but not quite high out of turn 4. DeFrancesco has to hang on to it.
I wonder if he actually brushed the wall with that. He was incredibly high, Devin DeFrancesco.
201 miles an hour.
Heart in his throat.
So he's going to come up to that bump in 3 and 4 one more time. A little calmer that time, it looks like.
Looked a lot better through there. This should be a better lap.
Checkered flag.
Nope.
And the consistency is okay, but about a half a mile an hour drop. And this, the call, oh, look at that.
And that was the exact same wiggle that never quit on him in practice when he got into the fence. Tremendous courage.
Stingray Rob.
Goodhart Chevy for JHR. I know, it looked a little interesting in 1 and 2. You see that throttle trace, unable to hold it flat out on this warm-up lap, coming to the green here. You hope that your tires are now up to temp. You only have a short distance, short amount of time to get it up there. Keeps it.
Oh no.
I was just going to say he kept it pinned.
How tough is it to keep it pinned around here? All the drivers say you want to keep it flat, but how tough is that in reality?
Totally depends on the car.
You want to keep it pinned, but you want to keep it out of the bin, too. You do not want to destroy your race car because you were just too stubborn to lift as he goes provisionally to the top of 199.1. I do like the way his car is riding, James, through the bump. The car doesn't generate a huge reaction. You see it kick through the steering wheel, but it doesn't seem to upset things like what we just saw from the number 30 of DeFrancesco.
And how much of that is the learnings from practice this morning? His teammate Connor Daly, miserable over the bump, said he thought he was going to crash every single time. Hybrid apparently not being utilized through those laps. But a 1991, a 1989, good consistency, and it's a P1 time, 199036. Robert Schwartzman, pole sitter at his very first Indianapolis 500 back in May, but since then, running on the ovals, qualifying hasn't been smooth sailing, but he does have 2 top 10s to his name on oval tracks this year. Schwartzman hoping to qualify up there, back towards the front, as he did at the Indy 500. What a brilliant day that was. What an incredible moment for everybody at Prema and for Robert Schwartzman in their first ever Indy 500.
And this is a big weekend for both the 2 drivers. One that we're looking at right now, the one we just heard from, Louis Foster. 2 rookies in the battle for the Rookie of the Year championship. And that means a lot to young drivers, guys. You only get 1 shot at being the Rookie of the Year. You can come back and try to win Indy. You can come back and try and win a championship. But you only get 1 crack at this. 8 points separate them to Foster's favor. And so this weekend, there's a lot riding on it for these 2.
Worth noting, in all of the glittering achievements of his career, Alex Palou was not Rookie of the Year in his first season in IndyCar. 1996, hell of a first lap for Robert Schwartzman compared to those who have gone already.
Wide open on the throttle too, Will. He did a great job to keep it locked down.
And that is easily to the top. 199.546, half a mile an hour to the good over Stingray Rob. Anyway, Callum Ilott
moving
as
along.
Swiftly on as we possibly can. What a run towards the end of the season for Callum Ilott. Since Toronto, a P8 there. Qualified 24th at Laguna Seca, 24th at Portland, finished 6th in both races. Absolutely astonishing. Horrible weekend last time out in Milwaukee. We'll put that to the back of his mind and back out again this weekend for the final time in 2025. Callum Ilott, so much experience in this championship. One last time for the season with Prema. Ooh, hitting the limiter.
Yeah, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. That means he had great speed coming off the corner. If you just tickle it before you enter there, but wide open, and the speed looks pretty strong 198 there.
Tiny little wave on the throttle, but only a bit.
Almost lost it there. Hit the bump, and it loosened up big time, but I don't think he lifted.
Didn't look like it. Trace didn't lift.
Pace is good.
That's huge. That's huge for Callum.
Okay, so this is tricky stuff now. As a driver, you almost wrecked. What kind of adjustments can you make in the cockpit? Can you hang on for one more corner?
A 201 average would have put you in the top 10 in practice. And like we said, these conditions not quite as good because of the higher track temps.
Nice job. Nice adjustment on your tools there.
And it's a 200.8. That's a massive effort from Callum Eilert.
Check this out, guys.
Whoop. Oh,
See
wow.
how fast his hands caught that?
You have to at 190-something miles an hour. But, guys, this is what we're talking about. Like, this is going to be every car for this entire session.
Nolan Siegel trending for the top 10 this morning. 7th place in practice. Lovely run from him. Hasn't necessarily had the most luck or the happiest of times on ovals this season. Hoping to finish the season off on a high in the NTT INDYCAR.
You hear the talk about deployment of the hybrid system. There's a strategy. There's only so much that you can use per lap, but at the same time, without really lifting, it's not going to regenerate at all. So you're kind of stretching out 1 lap's worth of hybrid allowance over 2 laps.
Good job. What for?
And that first lap is another 201. It's a 201.591 for Nolan Siegel. Little lift. Over the bump. There it is, that white patch.
Keeps it pinned. Big commitment from the young Californian.
Big run from Nolan Siegel. And it's enough to take over at the top again by a half mile an hour. 201.3. And that's tidy. What's Louis Foster got in his locker? A man who has been on pole in his rookie season in the NTT INDYCAR Series, albeit that on a road circuit. The team have found ovals a lot tougher. He may have a terrible taste in music, but I think in qualifying he has been pretty outstanding this year. Let's see if he can get it all together in the final weekend on an oval.
Told us he was going to take hole 3 over hole 2, so a little more downforce to the race car, and what it shows on the back straightaway, 197, 198, but a big lift through the middle of the corner. So huge handling issues for Louis Foster. It was looking really good.
He said he was the fastest on his team in practice. That was P14, not the type of racetrack that's benefited this organization compared to some of the others.
Just watching the throttle, this looked a lot better, though.
1990 lap 1. His teammate was a 1985 average. Foster a 1985 average as well. Characters who will try to take the pole today, amongst them this man, Marcus Ericsson, Connor Daly, who you heard from, Kiffin Simpson, Graham Rahal, Josef Newgarden, Santino Ferrucci, and Alexander Rossi in this group.
Marcus really wanting to end this season well. I know we say that a lot. Every team, every driver does, but it's been a bit of a muted year for him on the 28 machine. He's got a big week coming up. Week on Monday, he's getting married. His fiancée Iris and him tying the knot over in Italy. So he's going from the race weekend straight to a wedding weekend. Oh dear. And he's already having to work for it, coming to the green. That's such a confidence zapper when you're not even at full song yet and the car's already just not talking to you the way you want it to.
Be interested to see how he uses his hybrid. We've seen a variety of different efforts, some using 20-30% short blasts, other drivers using the full blast there. He's used almost 50%, over 50% on that first blast, on that first lap.
That
first lap is slow.
Not great speed at all. 18th in practice at a 200.3. So he's actually a fraction slower than what he ran earlier. During the rest of that hybrid, only hitting 197 mile an hour top speed. T-Bell, that's not as quick as some of the other cars that we've seen.
Yeah, still that lift in 3 and 4, about half throttle as he crosses the line. Tick slower there, average of 199.8. We'll have to see how his teammates run in a little bit here.
In the middle of a Prema sandwich is Marcus Ericsson. always one of the fastest drivers on ovals. He's going to feel aggrieved, naturally, that he hasn't got the results out of this year that he would have wanted, has had opportunities, has had chances on ovals, and even last weekend in Milwaukee was so exciting in those early laps, be it in the race proper, be it after restarts. You can never take your eyes off this man on an oval. There's something about him that just comes alive on these tracks.
As he cracks 200 miles an hour going into 3, has to lift off the throttle, going into 1, has to lift off the throttle a tiny bit there. But you talk about the results, it just shows how competitive IndyCar is right now. Connor's 19th in points. He's got a Ganassi car, Kevin Simpson, 1 in front of him, an Andretti car, Marcus Ericsson, 1 behind. He's in good company. It's just so competitive.
Connor Daly did about 3 laps in practice this morning and was immediately on the radio saying, guys, I am way loose. I'm going to crash if I stay out. He came to pit lane for changes. Watching right now to see, has he found confidence now on the soft compound? And that throttle trace says no.
And the lap time tells the story. And he says, he says it's horrific. What on earth happened? What happened was a 198 lap 1, a 197 lap 2. Only faster than Jacob Abel. Worth mentioning, folks, there are a couple of drivers who have penalties in their pockets for engine changes this weekend. One of them is the driver who sits second at the moment, Callum Ilott. He had an engine change, my apologies. And will drop down the order. So too, a driver yet to come and who won last time out in Milwaukee, and that is Christian Rasmussen. Right now, though, it's all about this man, Kevin Simpson, who has had a very impressive season of learning, of maturing, of growing every week. And when you have 2 of the all-time greats as your teammates, no better place to be, no better place to learn. And Kevin Simpson really has made the most of that in 2025.
Looks to me like maybe a bit conservative on the downforce level. By that meaning he's got a little bit more, so his top speed's not quite as big, but he's got a little bit more grip in the corners. Able to hold that throttle flat. Oh, little lift there.
First lap of 200 flat.
Yeah, but 200 miles an hour into turn 3. We haven't seen that yet today, so this should be maybe a little bit better.
201.3, the time to beat of Nolan Siegel. He improves to a 201.0, and Kevin Simpson is up to 3rd. Okay, time for Graham Rahal. Team leader at RLL. Had a wonderful run at Portland. Iowa qualified 14th and 10th. Milwaukee last week qualified 10th. So there is potential, there is promise in this car and in this driver package. Back in the 5th, 3rd bank colors for this weekend, and we're right on board thanks to them.
Deploy on the back.
And it seems obvious sitting at home that, yeah, obviously you got to deploy on the back, but there's so much going through a driver's head through a qualifying run, it's sometimes nice to just get those little reminders.
Oh, big lift, big lift.
And that was before he even got to the bump. Then he had to lift again off the back of it. That's going to hurt the speed for sure. And there it is, 198.6. Not where Graham wants to be right now.
A lot of kickback through the steering wheel, even through 1 and 2, where there's not the big bump. But you watch here in the middle of 3 and 4, almost tries to rip the wheel out of Graham's hands right here.
Yikes.
That was a better run. Didn't upset the cart quite as much, but still a struggle for Graham over 2 laps. Consistent, though, on speed.
We sit on board the driver's eye view for Josef Newgarden. One final chance for this guy to do what this guy does best, and that is take it to the absolute limit on an oval.
You see that map change there. Map 8 was where he started. That'd be a very conservative map from a fueling standpoint. Switches to map 3. That's probably a warm-up map. I bet we'll see another change by the time he comes to take the green flag. This will be the warm-up lap. Remember, they run in reverse championship order. Josef Newgarden's not used to going out this early in oval qualifying, such as the struggles he's faced this year, the bad luck he's had this year, sitting 16th in points right now into the last race. Just listen, sounds nice and committed to the throttle, coming to the green flag.
Green flag.
See that left thumb working the weight jacker.
The tiny little kiss of the hard limiter. That's that noise you heard. That's the rev limiter that's programmed by the engine manufacturers.
He's running a speed jacker.
That's it. I think he is.
I wonder how many guys are doing that. I don't think we've seen one yet.
First one we've seen committed over the bump in 3 and 4. I was surprised we didn't see a downshift there coming off of 4.
And the throttle trace was absolutely pinned. No wavering from Josef Newgarden. He has kept his right foot absolutely stuck to the floor.
You see that downshift to 5th off of 2. Bleeding just a little bit of speed.
That left thumb is used to lower the back of the race car and improve drag, as lap 2 is still solid for Newgarden. He goes to the top but raises his hand.
In some false limiter.
As we get another driver's eye view on board Santino Ferrucci.
This will be interesting because Santino Ferrucci and his team AJ Foyt Racing, interesting that he's taking the apron, not up on the racetrack.
Just going to say that. Only driver we've seen to not go straight up onto the track.
I assume that's driver's option.
Yeah.
Normally they point you straight up onto the track, but we'll see. I'm just curious with the technical partnership between Team Penske and AJ Foyt Racing, does Ferrucci use the weight jacker to speed jack his car as well?
And Townsend, for those tuning in who maybe weren't with us back at the Indy 500, explain exactly what they're doing when they're using that button.
Yeah, so typically the weight jacker was invented as a handling tool to adjust the handling of your race car in the corners. But what's evolved through the years at Indianapolis is drivers using the weight jacker to adjust the ride height of the back of their race car for better straight line speed. And you can still use it for handling adjustments as well, but it's sort of an unexpected benefit as Ferrucci, they see that left thumb working the weight jacker to lower the back. Could have been a balance adjustment too, but I've never seen on a short oval, or at least here at Nashville, a driver using the weight jacker like they would at Indy, which is what Newgarden just showed us.
Yeah, I wouldn't know if I'd consider this one a short oval, just being over a mile in length. I know we kind of typically consider a speedway a mile and a half, but this is 1.3. It's close enough. I think it drives more like a hybrid between a super speedway and a short oval.
We formally call it a super speedway.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I've just never seen the weight jacker used in that regard. Super clever.
Well, Santino keeping it pinned on the throttle all the way around, moves up to 5th with a 200.4 average. And here goes Alexander Rossi, last driver in this group. Teammate won last time out at Milwaukee. He, like his teammate, rabid on the restart with 30 to go. Could so easily have been his, but there was no denying his teammate. So aggressive, so punchy, and able to make moves and take positions in a manner that nobody could contend with on the day. Alexander Rossi, though, with a season best finish 1 week ago in Milwaukee, and ECR really a team going through a boom period in IndyCar. Will be strong again, we think, this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, there's some systematic and procedural issues, or differences, I guess, that this team has implemented from the engineering side that really seems to be bearing fruit on the racetrack now. Back-to-back season best finishes for Rossi in Portland and then Milwaukee, two very different types of racetracks. So this team kind of riding a wave of confidence right now. As you mentioned, his teammate Rasmussen took that maiden win a week ago at Milwaukee, and this is a type of racetrack that's right up both of their alleys.
Man, that car looked locked down over the bump. That's probably the best handling car I've seen in 3 and 4. Okay speed, not great. Puts him right with Marcus Ericsson at a 199.8.
Throttle, no wavering, utilized all the hybrid.
Maybe just too much downforce, Will.
Potentially that. There is talk that when the hybrid still holds something in it, it can increase and induce a little bit of extra drag. So maybe draining that, hoping to help him. But the overall time for Rossi is only a 199.4. Welcome back to Nashville Superspeedway. We are in a group which comprises some pretty big hitters. This man, Rinus VeeKay, newly liveried car for the weekend. New sponsor on board for Dale Coyne. Well, a new name. The sponsor remains the same, but a new deal for Alt with this team, which should be running over both the 51 and the 18 into 2026. We will have first-time winner from last time out, Christian Rasmussen. We'll have David Malukas on the front row in Milwaukee. We'll have Scott McLaughlin, Colton Herter, Felix Rosenquist, and Will Power all running in this group.
What a season this guy's had. I mean, his career took a bit of a left turn, no pun intended, at the end of last season. Let go by ECR, sort of unexpectedly to him, and fairly late in the year. Not a lot of options out there. Dale Coyne throwing him a bit of a lifeline, going to do the Indy test in October in a Dale Coyne racing machine. Impressed the team greatly in that outing, and that ultimately led to this full-time ride that wasn't confirmed until weeks before the season started, and it's been an incredible run for this group ever since.
7 top 10 finishes. And for DCR here in Rinus VeeKay, the question is, how much quicker can they go than the 51 of Jacob Abel? Abel at a 195.7, but it's that straight line speed into turn 3, James. Still 194. That's exactly where Abel was. So tough to see much better here. What can VeeKay do? Yeah, 197.
That's horrible. And the woes of
what we have.
The woes of Indianapolis return.
Exactly right. I mean, you talk about the speed on a speedway. Now that we've agreed this is a speedway, is 31st in qualifying at Indy. The pure pace of that car, of this team right now, just not up there.
What about this guy? The most electrifying racer we have seen for some time on ovals.
My new nickname for this guy, Sketch Factor 10. That's what defined his final 30 laps at Milwaukee to take the win. This guy was sideways more than he was straight, but he held on to it. As longtime strategist on ECR, Woody Harvey looks on. This entire team was so jacked to get that win. You won't see much sideways right now in qualifying, but come tomorrow, this steering wheel is going to be busy for sure.
Gave them the old razzle-dazzle 1 week ago, but his first lap isn't going to contend with that of Josef Newgarden. Needs to find something, and find something big on lap 2. If it's anything like his teammate, though, he will struggle to do so. Let's not forget, also has a grid penalty in his pocket. So will have to be making his way through the field, no matter where this couple of laps places him. For the winner of the last race in Milwaukee, it is almost exactly a 200-mile-an-hour average. And that's good enough for 6th as things stand, just narrowly behind Santino Ferrucci. You talk about expectations being high, Townsend. They don't come much higher than for this young man, David Malukas. So much anticipation as to what his next move will be in the NTT INDYCAR Series. Our anticipation now, though, is for just how fast he will be able to run these 2 laps. Front row of the grid last time out in Milwaukee for AJ Foyt Racing and David Malukas. Let's see what lap 1 holds in store for him and for us. It's a 202. Big.
All throttle. No lifts and big speed. That's what you want. Straight line speed, but corner speed to match.
Never had a pole position in the IndyCar Series. He started second 4 times. Twice of those have been this year with AJ Foyt Racing. Tracking right now to be sitting up top provisionally. Still a handful of guys to go.
All throttle, all the way. 201.9. It's up to the top for David Malukas, where we have come to expect him to be on an oval. Lovely stuff.
Boys. Good stuff.
How much of Newgarden's run, how much of his reporting will have enabled McLaughlin and the Penske organization to make a change to this car so that McLaughlin doesn't experience that same false limiter that seemed to affect Josef Newgarden on his run.
And if it was stopping him from being able to be in the gear that he wanted, that's such a crucial part of these qualifying runs. The engineers, it's a painstaking process trying to make sure you put exactly the right gears in the car. Just kissing that limiter at the end of the straights is kind of what you're aiming for. But I'm interested to see if we see Scott McLaughlin do that same weight jacker trick. Doesn't look like he's doing it. So Newgarden Seems to be the only one so far. So you heard his engineer say try to hold 6th, which means they probably had a shifting strategy that was going down to 5th, but they've switched up from the pre-session plan to hold 6th the whole way around.
Look at how beautifully light the touch is from Scott McLaughlin on the steering wheel. This guy is a
Downshift this lap.
absolute violin player as he gets a reminder to downshift this lap mid-corner. But that right index finger just gently cradling the steering wheel. He has a soft touch and a high finesse level. It's one of the reasons he's been such a quick learner on the ovals.
You saw a bar adjustment with his right hand, then an engine adjustment on the wheel. These drivers working hard. They're busy behind the wheel.
Oh, but it's only 4th. Slower than Siegel, slower than his teammate, critically slower than David Maluka. Okay, Colton Herta, winner here 1 year ago. Said that they've made the winner's trophy, a Gibson Les Paul, in the colours of Gamebridge this weekend, so he feels it's naturally coming back to him in 2025. Not been the best of seasons, as we know, for Colton Herta. No wins on the board yet. But one more chance on a circuit that he loves.
His teammate Kyle Kirkwood had the pole position here last year. Right now, there's a Chevy Stronghold up top. 1 through 5 are all bow ties. Colton looking to break a Honda into that top 5 and keep it there. He had to work for that win last year as well, guys. He had to make some bold moves. Late race pass on Pato Award for the win.
Watching that straight line speed, though, into turn 3, it is not magic. Just 197 for Colton Herta. So if he's going to do it, it's going to have to come from corner speed. But I'm afraid it's soft.
And it's off by quite a considerable margin. 200.4 is lap 1.
See, that's tracking him somewhere around Ferrucci in P7 right now, with still quite a few cars to go.
And the potential and drop-off that he'll experience on lap 2, if indeed he does. Or can he hold it to where he was? No, drops more time. 200.2, but does stick around in the Ferrucci era, and will be 8th as it sits. All right, now, Felix Rosenqvist in the new Maximum Metallica Sirius XM livery for the weekend.
Oh, almost stalled it.
Felix hoping to ride the Lightning this weekend in that car. Six poles in the NTT INDYCAR Series, and the memory remains for him. And really getting back to victory lane. But nothing else matters for Felix this year.
He qualified well here last year, started 3rd. Unfortunately, was one of the early cars out of the race after a cut tire.
Right on board thanks to Sirius XM, and I got to say that if a driver was to forego his spotter and his pit box and take audio and music, Metallica would be a good choice for qualifying here. Pin your ears back and just hang on, because this place is all about courage, especially through the middle of 3 and 4.
Again, fired up. 201.9, Malukas' average for the 2 laps. What's Rosenqvist got? It's only 200.7 for lap 1.
Car balance looks terrific, and ride control over the bump equally as strong, but it might be the case of maybe just a tick too much downforce. Pretty good hit to the floor there.
But didn't seem to upset the car.
No.
You know, MSR, as he crossed the line, 200.599 for a 200.696 average. Not bad at all. MSR with that technical alliance with Chip Ganassi Racing. They share engineering information.
This guy's going to be happy to get another chance here. Started 4th last year, was well in the hunt for a race win until his seatbelt released.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Multiple times. An utterly bizarre situation to finish the season.
Have you ever had that happen?
Yes.
It's a terrible feeling.
It's horrible.
And on an oval, I can't even imagine how unnerving it must be.
No, thank you. Well, the future hangs in the balance for Will Power. But question marks over his pace do not. Bit of a waver there on the throttle.
Look at the left
now
thumb.
Go green flag.
Just like his teammate, Josef Newgarden, Will Power is using the weight jacker as a speed jacker for extra straight line speed. Watch the left thumb here. Going to jump up. No, he's going to make a chassis adjustment with the front bar. I think he had too much going on, James, to remember the speed jacker.
I think you're right. The straights are relatively short here compared to Indianapolis. I'm surprised we're not seeing a downshift.
Now he's using it.
His lights are off on the dash. That's usually a symbol to the driver.
Lap 1 is a 2:01.1.
He's holding that 6-gear strategy. You see that green light come on to remind him to use the fast jacker. He's got it there.
Looks a little happier with the balance and using the jacker on the back straightaway, but that bump really freed him up. He almost got in the fence, I think, out of turn 4.
Second lap, nowhere near what he would have wanted. And Power is only in 8th. All right, Marcus Armstrong out on track and out ahead of his teammates in the championship with 1 round to go. A season where Rosenqvist has been in the ascendancy for the majority of it, but a brilliant run of late from Marcus Armstrong, including that moment last time out with strategy that we couldn't figure out in Milwaukee. Actually paid off for him.
Salvaged a top 10 out of it, just to add to his impressive run of top 10s so far this season. 11 of them out of 16 rounds.
That's
which
crazy.
Is absolutely impressive. And he's right now tied with Colton Herta in the points for 6th position. So an incredible uptick in season-long performance for this guy. You know, we talk a lot about him not having as many of those pop performances, those moments of real, those flashes of real speed. He did, of course, have that podium in Iowa, I believe, but he's looking for more of those results and less of these 6s, 7s, and 8s.
I think he's happy to take a pop season, you know, on the whole from a championship standpoint. Consistency's been remarkable, and the speed, though, right now, just 196 on the back straightaway, so I'm not sure this is going to give him the 2-lap run that he's going to be happy about. It does not.
No.
No, not good at all. 12th place. Carl Kirkwood second quickest this morning. 2:01.9 was his lap time. Needs an average around that to take this away from Malukas. Malukas, of course, was sitting very pretty this time 1 week ago. And it came down to that last run and the last run of Alex Palou to take it away from him. Agonizingly close for David Malukas. Will today be his day? Can Kirkwood make it 2 poles in Nashville on the bounce?
James, a lot of steering angle from Kyle Kirkwood here. Just watch how high that right hand gets.
Little crack in the throttle.
Yeah, I just don't know if he's carrying a little bit more scrub in the front end.
Green flag.
He also, as he makes an adjustment, you see the right hand go down. It's a front bar adjustment that he's making. Trying to add a little bit of front grip, flat out through 1 and 2. Maybe the tiniest little lift, called a driver flag is what we call that.
Sees 197 into turn 3.
It just sounds like these Hondas are not able to get that same top speed we're seeing out of the Chevy contenders.
Nope. You think that first lap for Malukas was up in the 2:02s? That's what you're going to need to contend.
Hands are thinking about adjustments. I'm not sure he put it in, though, with the rear bar.
It's steady.
Okay, checker flag.
But it's nowhere near enough. 9th for Kirkwood.
So now you've got Lundgaard. This is the first guy I've got my eyes on if I'm Malukas. What do these McLaren cars have?
Lundgaard was 3rd fastest this morning. As Hinch was saying, the Chevys look great. Top speed, fantastic out there. But have McLaren got the handling for the lap overall?
Great drone shots. Just give you the.
I mean, it looks fast from the drone.
Yeah. You see him just working the throttle pedal there as he comes to take the green flag. Warm-up lap 196.
Front end looks pretty strong, like it's delivering decent bite.
203 going in to turn 1. What can he hit on the back straight?
Not quite the 200 that we've seen from some of the top cars, but he lifted and then he rolled into the throttle for the bumps. He's sort of anticipating the bump by pitching the car back on the throttle there, but I don't think you want to lift.
But it's a decent first lap. It's 2:01.7. If he can find time on this second lap, he will be there to compete with Malukas.
Pin it right here.
Yeah, don't anticipate the bump. Just drive through it. It is what it is at this point.
Yeah,
Again,
but it was a little bit flatter that time. It was a little closer.
Can Lundgaard do it? Has he found enough? Lap 2. That's second. 2:01.7.
That's a good run.
That's a great run.
Wow. And 3 to go for David Malukas, and I know he said, I'm not counting on anything. He'll be tweaking right now at these last 3 runs to get his first pole.
It was the last run of qualifying a week ago in Milwaukee. He was sitting pretty. Your championship winner.
He's tweaking.
Yeah.
Once again.
Championship winner Palou goes out on that last run, blitzes the field to get pole position. Malukas once again in that helpless position of just sitting there and watching, unable to do anything else.
Oop, that was a little free for Scott Dixon over the bump on the warm-up.
Green flag.
Thinks about that adjustment. I don't think he does it.
200-mile-an-hour warm-up. That's healthy.
There's that adjustment.
Did he soften the front
I think
bar?
he softened it, going for more front grip.
He's gambling.
Oh, all the way to the wall.
Wow.
Nothing between his Firestone and the wall, and it's up there.
It's big. It's a 2:01.7. Similar to Lundgaard, if he can find time on this second lap, he can compete with Malukas for P1.
All but 2 drivers have gone faster on their first lap than their second, so that's not with Dixon.
Big lift. That's done it. Dixon, third. 2:01.4. Big lift on the second lap. So can Pato O'Ward take it away from David Malukas? O'Ward, who was fastest in practice this morning.
Had his teammate Nolan Siegel run pretty early on. He sits 5th right now, but the benefit for Pato O'Ward is that feedback, that information off Siegel, and more recently, Christian Lundgaard. Try to do what you can in terms of understanding your teammates' vibe, what he's learned about his teammates through the season, and make these critical final adjustments before the green flag.
Given the drop on the second lap, you need a first lap, like Malukas did, of 202 miles an hour. Or more.
Just keep your eyes on that throttle graph on this warm-up lap. Coming to the green, absolutely flat chat through 3 and 4.
Looked pretty good.
Oh, dead on. 200.2 for that first warm-up lap.
Excellent through 1 and 2. What kind of straight line speed does he see going into 3? It's going to be
big.
200.
It's big.
201 maybe. Yes.
Through the final corner onto the back stretch.
Uh-oh.
Look at the stress on Malukas' face.
He knows it's coming.
It's big. It's huge. It's a 202.9, and Malukas knows it.
He knows it, but he's got to finish it. He still has to get through 3 and 4 through that bump one more time. Everybody's lost pace, but a few drivers on that second lap.
Fastest driver in practice.
Oh, yeah.
Looking smooth.
Oh, yeah.
Going for P1 in qualifying to take it away from Malukas. Pato O'Ward over the line does deny David Malukas. It's Pato O'Ward to provisional pole. 202.6. That's big.
Yeah, baby. Let's go.
That looked hooked up. That thing was absolutely on rails. Full commitment from O'Ward. Really, really strong run.
All season long, this guy has destroyed the hopes and dreams of the field. And he's done so with
a smile.
Great serendipity, and wouldn't you know it, just as Palou rolls out, you notice how things are a little darker on the screen, folks?
Yep.
The magic cloud has somehow appeared for the magic man.
In a cloudless sky.
And it's
One
not
appears.
It's not nothing. 114 degrees. We've lost 3 degrees of track temp in the last few minutes. And when you're talking games of hundreds and thousands of a mile an hour, that makes a difference. I just don't know if these cars these Chip Ganassi racing machines have enough pace.
Top Honda right now is
Dixon.
Scott Dixon, his teammate in P4, but it's almost a mile an hour slower than Pato O'Ward. It's over a mile an hour slower.
1.2. He needs to find over a mile an hour on his teammates to take the pole away from Pato O'Ward.
Right there on the warm-up speed, 200.6.
That's solid for warm-up.
Yeah.
What does he get here? Terminal velocity, just 198.
It's not
199, but that's still quick from what we've seen for the Hondas.
Not as high as O'Ward.
One more lap.
What's the first lap time, though? Oh, it's only a 2:01.5. This is trending towards O'Ward. For once, the question will be of Pato.
He sees the first lap time and says, oh, yeah, we're good.
O'Ward is confident, and he has every reason to be. It's been Alex Palou's season, but it's going to be Pato O'Ward's pole. O'Ward pole. Malukas second. Lundgaard is third. Palou fourth. And there is your man back on the NTT P1. Pato O'Ward.
Untouchable, undeniable, one man going for history.